It is the year 2023 and the countdown begins to Nigeria's general election. It is the year we will be saying thank you for your service to today's helmsmen and welcome on board to the new men and the women chomping at the bit to have a go in the top seats. Before those key dates, however, there are some hurdles to cross. The ballot awaits those who have been promising a lot on the podium, and the management of the processes leading to the election day and beyond will shape the nation's destiny in the coming years. In the final hours, the electorate will have key conversations with their thumbs whether to stick or twist. We will be here to cover every drop of the political sweat, every nod of electoral approval, and every turn on the road to the State House. Happy New Year and welcome to the first edition of Political Update for 2023. I'm Fisai Ogunfui. Let's set sail. To set the stage for the much anticipated elections which are nearly upon us, last year witnessed key decisions and developments which many believe have reset the button in the nation's political scene. Ekene Undulue in this report revisits some of them.
February 25, 2022, a day destined to reshape Nigeria's political landscape. The pen in the hands of President Buhari, finally signing into law the 2022 Electoral Act. An amendment many believe will bring more transparency in Nigeria's electoral process and deepen the country's democracy. Not so long after this key moment, Clause 84 of the Act became an issue of controversy. The provision says no political appointee at any level shall be a voting delegate or be voted for at the convention or congress of any political party for the purpose of the nomination of candidates for any election. The effect and import of this clause was enormous. Several political appointees had to resign to contest party primaries. Some had to let go of their political ambition to stay on the job, while others forfeited their 100 million naira presidential nomination form of the APC to hold onto their ministerial position. In view of the new Electoral Act, INEC released the timetable for the conduct of the 2023 general election. Deadline for party primaries was fixed for 9th June 2022. Commencement of campaigns billed for 28 September. Presidential and National Assembly election 25th February 2023. While governorship and houses of assembly elections will be determined on 11th March 2023.
Any political party that fails to comply with the timelines provided for in the timetable and schedule of activities, particularly with respect to the conduct of party primaries and the nomination of candidates, will not be expected to nominate candidates to the Commission for Election.
18 political parties are on the INEC register, and party primaries have seen the emergence of 18 presidential candidates. The electoral body had consistently insisted on its readiness to give Nigerians an election that will restore confidence in the voting process. The new INEC guideline, which introduced the use of bimodal voter accreditation system (BVAS) and electronic transmission of results, was designed to check election irregularities, and Osun and Ekiti governorship elections offered good testing grounds. The outcomes seem to have strengthened the election management body's resolve to go the full hog in 2023. The general election is now 2 months away, with INEC set to deliver on its schedule for the double header. Earlier, the signing of the peace accord by the 18 political parties on the 29th September 2022 had signaled the commencement of a rigorous campaign season.
The rise of fake news and misinformation continue to pose a significant threat to democracy in Nigeria. It has shifted focus away from issue-based campaigns to amplifying the potential for personal attacks, insults, and incitement.
The Independent National Electoral Commission will vigorously monitor compliance to ensure that parties have abuses, intemperate or slanderous language, as well as insinuations or innuendo likely to provoke a breach of the peace during the electoral campaign.
However, this accord has not stopped attacks on politicians, campaign trains and INEC offices. With the clock ticking, the intensity of the campaigns is on the increase, with the tellers smiling to the bank. Several independent polls show the APC, PDP, Labour Party and NMPP candidates as the front runners. On the other side of the aisle, Nigerians are collecting their permanent voter cards in preparation of the polls. Many say it is a race to the finish, and only time will tell who will emerge from the polls with the garland. Ekene Ndulue, NTA News.
Thank you very much, Evekela, for that one. Joining us today is a politician and a scholar. Waziri Bulama is an architect by profession, but these days he's been building political blocks and designing templates for development. Thank you for joining us. 2023 is here. We were saying 2023 as if it's one kind of long millennia away.
Yeah.
But it's here and we're counting down. It's a matter of just a little bit over 7 weeks now, and we'll get to the business end of it. From the perspective of a stakeholder, how do you feel at this time?
Well, I feel extremely confident and happy that Nigeria is transiting to a genuine democracy where rule of law is supreme, where voters are the key determinants of who gets power, where institutions of state, the electoral management body, the judiciary, the security agencies, that are also involved, in elections, they are all neutral and committed to ensuring that we have free, fair, and transparent election in line with the constitution of the country and in line with the Electoral Act. So to that extent, there has been a sea change, coming from where we started in 1999. The processes have been largely in our takeoff stages. The previous elections we struggled with managing elections because there has been too much interference. There has been the use of the apparatus of state in favor of one party or another. But now we are transiting to a point, we've come to a point where these institutions are independent and the leaders are accountable and people are free to vote, and people really also have the chance of contesting anything that they disagree with in court and getting judgment. So we are very happy, and actually the politicians know this, guided by the Electoral Act and the Constitution of the country. The processes leading to this stage, have been transparent, open, and fair in all the parties. We followed, in all the parties, we saw the politicians sticking to the rules and guidelines given by INEC in submitting names, in carrying out transparent processes and systems in the parties to bring out candidates. And now the campaign really now is becoming more, accountable and issue-based, and the fate of, all people now is in the hands of the voters. And the voters really have also seen this change, and they have responded to it, and they have registered in numbers. Today, the number of voters has increased to 95 million in this country, and that is quite huge, you see, because in the previous election, it was about 78 million, but now we've jumped by about 30% to almost, 95 million. And people are really right now becoming more assertive And that gives a great deal of confidence.
All right, you've even gone to some of your expectations as well. But in terms of features, being a student of the process, having been part of the process, especially in this Fourth Republic, what are the unique features you think we will see in this one? In terms of, you have talked about participation, perhaps there'll be an increase, but sometimes it doesn't even tell too much. Sometimes we see a lot of collection. Later on the day, you won't see too much. But what are expectations from the election management aspect, as well as voter perception about the entire process? Are we likely to see a deluge of people come out on the day?
Definitely, I see a situation where INEC would be more prepared for the elections. The issues of election organization and management has been a problem, not just with the politicians, but the electoral management body had problems of its own, problems of logistics, problems of organization, problems of delivery of materials, and problems of staff commitment and so on. But this time around, INEC is much more prepared to ensure that they create the right conducive enabling environment for transparent elections to take place. The security agencies are also up and doing, and they want to ensure that the process is free of intimidation and violence, to enable access, to voters to go out and vote peacefully and ensure votes count. So because of that, I see growing confidence. This will add to the growing confidence of the citizens, of voters, that they would want to participate as patriotic citizens in who governs them in all the constituencies in this country. They will come out to vote for whom they want, to express, their franchise and their own patriotism and contribution to the country's democracy. And I see a large turnout, in all the constituencies in this country, and I see a great deal of interest, of the voters, as well as also the public, general public, as well as other stakeholders, civil society groups, election monitors, the international community. All of them would really, prepare to see that this election comes out, encourages, more participation. So I see this deluge that you are talking about.
All right, let's look at it from the perspective of the voter. As the candidates, have they been able to capture the imagination of the voters with their promises, with their concepts that they are sharing with the voters? Or are we likely to see voting along the old lines, religion, ethnicity, instead of the issues that you have talked about before?
I see less of identity, based politics in this next election for now, because because of the narrowed room for self-help, impunity and abuse brought about by the Electoral Act, the guidelines of INEC, and also the standing instruction of the president, the commander-in-chief, President Muhammadu Buhari, that his interest is in bequeathing a legacy of free and fair, elections. Now, the fate of the outcome of the elections would depend on the voting. So, because of that, all these candidates know that they have to engage the voters and persuade them respectfully and get them to vote. That is what is going to count majorly. So, there will be some candidates who may dubiously pander to using identity, promoting religion or region or ethnicity and so on. But looking at the level of participation, in all the constituencies in this country, what will ultimately count is the quality of the candidate, the quality of issues, and the debate that the candidates present to the voters and the communities around which this voting will take place.
All right, let's move on very quickly and look at the campaign trains themselves, because many of the presidential campaign trains hardly paused for breath during the Christmas and New Year holidays. In Yobe, the Lobito group, in collaboration with the Tinubu Shetima volunteer group, held a rally in Unguru.
As political activities heightened ahead of the forthcoming general elections, a political group by the name Tinubu Kashim Volunteer Support Group in Yobe State has joined campaigners for the APC presidential and governorship candidates. The state coordinator, Tinubu Kashim Volunteer Support Group in Yobe State, Yusuf Bala Saliu, notes that the campaign is canvassed massive votes for the APC, having done so much towards the development of the nation.
What we are trying to achieve is to humanize the people of Yobe State so as to vote for Tinubu and Kashim as the next, president of Nigeria. And at the same time, we are trying to humanize our youth to see that Honorable Maimala Buni have come back to his own, seat as governor of Yobe State.
Various interest groups pledged their commitment to the APC project at all levels.
We are still mobilizing our youth and our marketers to go and collect their own PVC in order to cast their own vote. Those we are waiting for the day to cast our own vote, inshallah, by God grace. And by God grace, Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be the winner, inshallah, by 2023.
The APC in Yobe State is beehive of electioneering activities, with the recent being the constitution of the 9-member state APC campaign council chaired by former governor of the state, Senator Ibrahim Gaidam, and President of the Senate, Ahmed Ibrahim Lawan, as alternate chairman, as well as Senator Abubakar Abu Ibrahim, who is to serve as grand patron of the campaign council.
Still with the APC, Director of Community Support of the APC Presidential Campaign Council, Abdullahi Ahmed Maigogo, took the party's renewed hope message to the grassroots in some parts of Nasarawa State.
With much strategic engagements ahead of the February 2023 presidential election, the Community Support Directorate of the Presidential Campaign Council (PCC) is taking its sensitization and mobilization to more grassroots communities. The interaction with Mararaba supporters, which is the latest, was done amidst creative entertainment, wooing them to vote the APC candidates. The director reassured the APC supporters of the visionary ideas and capacities of the duo of Tinubu and Shettima, citing their antecedents as governors.
To tell them what is all about the right they have towards choosing their candidate, that is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashi Shettima, how to vote for somebody who has a mission, vision and focus and love for all, and a candidate who does not discriminate between Muslim and Christian, who has the love of everybody, and a leader as well who you can see have the listening ear of a people.
Our main thought, which is Ahmed Bola Tinubu, would like him to help the women, empowerment for youth and women.
Meanwhile, the leadership of the directorate visited the Kubwa General Hospital to rejoice and celebrate the New Year baby, Baby Ugota.
And that gave me more incitement also to see the baby, and gave the assurance that immediately the boy grow up and start school, I personally will sponsor him up to the university level.
I appreciate the political party for coming to witness a day like this and to celebrate with my family.
The team says the sensitization and mobilization will be intensified in the coming days across the country.
The presidential candidate of the new Nigeria People's Party has concluded his tour of the Northwest Geopolitical Zone with the promise to provide job opportunities for the youths and harness the nation's natural resources for optimal utilization if elected.
In Katsina State, the NNPP presidential candidate's first port of call was Kankia Local Council, where he inaugurated party's office. Kwankwaso then proceeded to Bindawa and engaged supporters on his plans, especially in creating job opportunities for unemployed youth.
A dukkanin asibitoci na gwamnati na ƙasar nan gabaki da za a yi wannan haihuwa kyauta.
Party stalwarts in the area appreciated the visit of their candidate, promising to vote massively come February 2023. At Oron Namuda in Zamfara State, Kwankwaso was received by party supporters in a throng that took in the town to canvass for votes. He also sought blessings from the Emir Sanusi Muhammad Asha, assuring the royal father that his administration will enhance agricultural activities and tackle insecurity in the area. Similarly, the presidential candidate of the NNPP was in Ilele town, Sokoto State, where supporters accorded him warm reception.
The issues are now well known and well documented by us on the ground, and we pray that Nigerians will do the right thing. The right thing, in our opinion, is to kick out the old system. It's not favoring the majority. Only a very small clique that they think they own Nigeria. Nigeria belongs to everybody, all of us. And for people to think that they will dictate who becomes a candidate in one party, or even worse, thinking that they would direct masses to vote for them again. I think that's what we are telling the people. Anybody who goes for campaign, they should ask them, okay, if you want us to vote for you, are you going to continue with this old system? In fact, they are even saying they will continue with the old system. We are so happy that change, positive change, is coming to Nigeria.
Konkoso rounded off his latest tour in Birnin Kebbi, where he assured the people of the state that if elected, he will bring about positive change not only in the state, but Nigeria as a whole.
And lastly, national leader of the Pan-Nigeria Delta Forum, Chief Edwin Clark, has thrown his weight behind Labour Party candidate Mr. Peter Obi as Nigeria's next president.
We want Peter Obi to be the president of Nigeria come 2023.
Yes.
And I want to make it very clear that the people who are suffering in this country today are the youth, the young school children. They have no place to go to. They move around as if they belong to a special class. These children should come out, go to their homes, go to their villages. There you belong to. Go and educate your people. Go and tell them what to do before coming to the township. People now want to kick you away, don't want you to go anywhere. They want to use you. Don't allow anybody to bribe you.
All right, for the last line, Akita Bulema is still right here. Everybody, one person endorsing the other, this and that, and we're getting close. We can almost see the tape now. So everybody, I mean, the political class is raising the ante, but at the end of the day, just like you said, the power is with the voters.
Yeah, sure. And, you know, in Hausa, people say the way you survive the ocean, you know, depends on how you know how to swim. The fate of the candidates is in the hands of the voters. That is the interesting thing about it, about the situation now. So, and the vote, that is why the campaigns are becoming more issue driven. That is why, for instance, the political parties have very tight and well organized campaign programs with campaign messaging, and with you know, inclusive participation of all the stakeholders in the parties, and that is because you see the campaign is very serious.
Before I let you go,
yes.
We always have robust policies, robust campaigns, robust things like this. But how do we marry concept and actuality? How can we make sure that these promises, you know, don't just end in the podium, that they actually we get to actualize them once eventually we give the, you know, them our thumbs?
You see, once you see the candidates, you know that votes count, they will be accountable to the voters, not just, you know, in aspiring for the elections, but also in governance, because they have to deliver, you know, on the undertakings, on the promises and the pledges, so that in the next election, they would also be accepted by the voters, because the power, you know, now is in the hands of the voters. So that is very fundamental in this case. And of course, you see, free and fair elections, credible elections, you know, ensure legitimacy, you know, political stability, justice, transparency, and accountability. And you see, our struggle, you know, with nation building in Nigeria has been dogged by crises over elections. You see, lack of confidence over elections, or interference in the election processes, and so on. But now we're getting things right, and we're, you know, transiting to a period of political stability, you know, political maturity, and you know, rule of law. And so that is why
so
we're moving.
we still need to talk to some of the campaign organizers, because some of their utterances are still with a lot of venom. But that's how we end it. But let me round up with a quote from some of the prospective voters. They say, "You have come with us with open door vehicles, and we are seeing your faces. Once we put you there, don't turn back to tinted glasses so that we can see you properly when you are governing. Mr. Agube is my name. Thanking you for the first edition of Political Update for this year. Urging you to play your politics for the greater good and keep it locked on the Nigerian Television Authority for news, reviews, previews, and interviews. Bye-bye now.